And now, marine weather around Alaska.
All right, well, today you can see we've got a system out here near Shimia, front pushing eastward here, and a warm front spreading rain up to the Pribilof Islands with rain into the western or the central Aleutians pushing eastward there in toward the Alaska Peninsula. Then we had a system off the coast here tracking northward to about Yakutat, making landfall here now, really weakening rapidly, but it'll continue off up toward Mackenzie River Delta tonight. And another system here to the southwest moving up, but that'll be weakening, and yet another system will be following that in behind. Good southwest flow here, that's going to carry the disturbance after system into the Panhandle, at least into the start of the weekend. And for tomorrow, here's that next low bringing more wind and rain into the southeast coast, with rain spreading up to the North Gulf Coast. And to the west, another system tracking eastward here and bringing wet conditions into the eastern Aleutians, Pribilof Islands, starting to move on toward the southwest coast late tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening actually, and then on Friday that cuts into Bristol Bay and weekends for pretty unsettled conditions, but a little breezy here out over the central and eastern Bering Sea all the way up to the northwest coast. A front hangs up along the southwest coast or moves right up to the coastline, keeping it wet there, and that'll extend back in across Prince William Sound, Kenai Peninsula, portions of Cook Inlet. And then for the coastal water forecast for tomorrow, small craft advisories for the entire length of the coastline. East-southeast winds on the north coast at 30 knots, southeast 25 on the south coast, with seas running 9 to 11 feet. And for Lynn Canal, south winds 20 knots, southeast 20 knots with gusts to 35 knots. And pretty gusty winds for Stevens Passage, 25 to 35 knots. And small craft advisories for Clarence Strait, southeast winds 25 knots. And for the day on Friday, for the south coast, south winds 25 knots and east to southeast winds 20 to 25 knots up to the north. Lynn Canal, southeast winds now coming down to 15 knots, southeast 20 for Stevens Passage, and Clarence Strait, southeast at 25. North Gulf Coast, at least on the eastern North Gulf Coast, that'll be the windiest area out there for tomorrow. East-southeasterlies at 30 knots. Otherwise, Prince William Sound, southeast winds 20 knots, seas 4 feet. East winds 30 knots here for the Barren Islands, and about 25 knots there for Kamishak Bay, Cook Inlet, east wind 10 to 15 knots. And for Friday, Cook Inlet, north to northeast wind 15 knots, seas 3 to 5 feet, variable at 10 for Kamishak Bay. East winds 15 knots here for the Barren Islands into the western North Gulf Coast. A light east wind for Prince William Sound and a southeast wind at 20 for the eastern North Gulf Coast. Kodiak Island tomorrow, east-northeast winds at 20 knots, east at 15 for the Bristol Bay. And for the Alaska Peninsula, south winds 10 to 15 knots. For Friday, Alaska Peninsula, west winds 15 to 25 knots, north winds at 10 knots for Bristol Bay. And for Shelikof Strait, winds will be northeast at 15 knots, east side of Kodiak Island, southwest at 15 knots. And for the Fox Islands tomorrow, look for southwest winds 15 to 20 knots, west winds 15 to 20 for Adak and Atka, the western Aleutians, north to west winds at 15 to 25 knots. For the area from Shimia to Kiska Island on Friday, winds will be light and variable. Otherwise, Amchitka Island, they pick up to west at 15, Adak and Atka, west winds 20 knots, and small craft advisories for west winds at 25 knots for the Fox Islands. And for the southwest coast tomorrow, look for winds out of the east, but only at about 15 knots, light east winds for Norton Sound, St. Lawrence Island, and northeast at about 20 for St. Matthew Island. East winds 15 for the Pribilofs. And then for Friday, Pribilof Islands, north at 15, north winds 20 knots, St. Matthew Island, northeast winds 15 knots, Norton Sound, St. Lawrence Island, and the Yukon Delta Coast, north 15 for the Kuskokwim Delta Coast. Up to the the eastern Beaufort Sea, kind of westerlies at 20 knots there toward Kaktovik. Excuse me, and north to northeast winds here for the remainder of the Arctic coast. And excuse me, again, northeast at 15 to 25 here from Wales up to Cape Lisburne. And then for the day on Friday, For the Chukchi Sea, north to northeast winds at 15 to 25 knots, western Arctic coast northeast at 15. Seas running 5 to 7 feet through here, and north at 15 for the central Arctic coast, northwest 20 knots for the eastern Beaufort Sea coast, and about 25 knots here from Barter Island to Demarcation Point.